welcome to my channel. My name is Novella. Today is Sunday and that means coffee Klatch. Coffee Klatch is a word that just means that I invite you over for a coffee and we have a little chit chat. That's the meaning of the word coffee Klatch. Now, mostly I talk about books and today is no different. Yesterday I watched the live of this one who wants some attention. Yesterday I watched the live of MJ, Criminoli, Greg, of another bibliophile, Reed, and another person that just escapes my brain, I'm so sorry, where they were discussing the Read What You Own challenge, and they are starting that on the 6th of November, I believe, and I will start today because I have so many books that are unread. I've hauled quite a bit of books the last couple of months, all because I could get them very cheap, like €1, even less, maximum €5 for my secondhand books. And it's about time to stop my Tsundoku and start reading because you know the Japanese word Tsundoku, where you buy more books than you will ever be able to read. And I love having a lot of books, but I love reading a lot of books even more. So I really want to read what I own. And so the challenge is read 100 books before you buy a new one. Now, that I will definitely do. And then there's also, remember, December, that we are organizing with a whole lot of people. And I see that other booktubers really liked the idea and they are also joining us. So that's absolutely wonderful. I think it's a really beautiful and simple premise where you just reread books that you loved or didn't like at all, but you want to give them a second chance. This is the noise is Vita, so I'm sorry about that. And I think it's great to reread a book and to think about the book. Or how do I experience the book now, so many years later, or just in a different mindset, and I think it's always interesting. Last week I read The Magic Mountain by Thomas. I absolutely adored the book. I know it's a kind of a Marmite book, not everybody likes it, but I loved it. It was love at first sight. And when you read a book like that, the books that come after that, I feel sorry for them. Because it's difficult to top the talent of Thomas Mann. He's right up there. And but I was lucky. I've read 4 amazing books. 3 of them are 5 stars and 1 is a 4-star rate. So not bad. So what did I read? Des Hommes Purs. This is written by Mohamed Mbougar Sarr. His novel, The Secret Memory of Man, is now out in the States and will come out end of February in the UK. It is an absolute must-read, although Sean the Maniac thinks differently. I love his writing. It's very cocky and arrogant, but also sexy and exciting, and I just loved it. Now, this book just came out in Dutch. This is the book he wrote just before The Most Secret Memory of Man. This is Des Hommes Purs, translated into Dutch as Een Echte Man. Not yet published in English, but it has to. So this tells the story of a literary professor in Senegal, Dakar. And he sees a clip on, not on YouTube, but on a Senegalese network, where people, a whole gang of people, unearth a body and drag it through the city. And he is fascinated by it, shocked by it, but also fascinated. And he wants to know, who is that man? Who is that body? What did he do to provoke so much anger amongst the normal people? And it turns out that the man they dug up was a homosexual. And there is a new witch hunt on homosexual people in Senegal. Meanwhile, he is a literary professor and he teaches Verlaine to his young students, and they find out that Verlaine was also a gay man. And a lot of people protest that they are given or that they are supposed to read poems written by a gay man. And our protagonist has nothing to do with the quality of his poetry. It's magnificent. They were talking about the Fleur du Mal. But they force him to apologize, but he refuses. And then he goes and visits the mom of the man that was buried up. And apparently there were talks that he was a gay man too, but there was never any proof. It was just on gossip that they unearthed him, and they thought that a man like that is not allowed to be buried in holy ground. So that's why they dug him up, and she had to bury her own son under a tree in her backyard. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this book, and it is written with so much compassion and beauty and horror and disgust about how bad a witch hunt can be. And it knocked me off my feet. It was a really, really, really good book. I thoroughly hope that he will translate it into English, because not only besides the witch hunt, you really feel how life is in Dakar, the sense. He really creates a beautiful atmosphere of how life is there. It is really interesting. It is a phenomenal read. 5 stars. Then I also read, this is the Dutch version, this is 7 Steeples by Sarah Baume. 7 Steeples is about a young couple that, we actually don't know how old they are. They leave the city and decide to live somewhere very remote in an old farmhouse, and they have a view on a mountain, and they always say to each other, one day we will climb that mountain. And the weeks go by, months go by, years go by, and nothing really happens. They don't really do anything with their time. I can understand that when you live somewhere where time is different than in the city, where you live with the hours of the day and the seasons and the tides even, because they live near the coastline. But they don't even do that. And it's a really weird book in a way. It is beautifully written. The way she writes is magnificent. But there's absolutely no plot in this book. But there's also absolutely no character building in this book. So nothing of the sort. And nothing really happens in this book, although she keeps you interested till the very end. Because you're wondering, why are they there? They're just two very lazy people. And that's a bit of, that's what takes 1 star off this book. It would have been nicer if they actually did something with their time. They just lost time there. They spent 7 years there. They never did any cleaning. There was a moment where they say, where they felt something crawling over their faces, and they were saying to each other, what do you like most? What animal do you like most crawling over your face? And one says the spider, and the other says mice. So yeah, they don't even clean the house. They when they drop something in the backyard, it stays there for 7 years. Nothing changes. So yeah, it's a bit of yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I really loved the way she writes, but there has to be a little bit more to the story to really make this really good. So yeah, 7 Steeples, it's called in English, by the, I believe she's Irish author Sarr Baume. Then another book that I highly enjoyed, Antal Jer. Antal Jer is a Hungarian novelist. He was a Jew, and thanks to one of my viewers, they told me really look into his story, because it's he died in a horrific way, and that's true. So he was a Jewish author who worked in the years before the Second World War, and he died in a concentration camp, a work camp. He was beaten to death somewhere in January 1945. Now, Antal Jer is really good. This is a really good book. It is about a young couple that gets married, and they have their honeymoon in Italy. They're doing a grand tour there, but quickly Michael realizes that he made a mistake, that the wedding wasn't a good idea, and he wanders off alone constantly and leaves his wife alone. And it gets so bad that they were supposed to take the train together to Rome, but he misses the train, and he ends up somewhere completely else. Somewhere else. And yeah, it also talks about life when you're in your early 20s, when you have your mates and everything is fun and great, and you don't have to think about anything, and then slowly your mates are having their own lives, and one of your mates is a real thief, and the other one becomes a monk that is really popular, and another one does something else, and he, the protagonist, doesn't really know what he wants, because he's also in love with somebody else that was in his group. And there's a lot going on in this book, and it is basically a bildungsroman about growing up and making stupid mistakes sometimes. Really good book, really well written, highly recommend, 5 stars. Then this is also a Dutch version, but of course it exists in English too. It's the Radedzkymars by Joseph Roth, an author that lived in the same time span as Thomas Mann, Anel Jer. All those guys, they all knew each other. Joseph Roth was also a friend of Einstein and the likes, and he was a very prolific writer too. And he is extremely popular in my part of the world. And all his books are re-edited now and republished, and it's amazing. So this is the story of the Von Trotz. Von Trotz is a family of military men. And it starts with the first one, who was just a small soldier, meaningless soldier, who saves the life of Franz Josef, the emperor, and he gets promoted, gets a lot of money, and becomes a baron. But that wasn't really a good idea, because he was a very simple, humble man, and he doesn't like it when people treat him like he is now a different man, and he just saved somebody because he had a hunch, but that doesn't make him special. And he struggled with this throughout his life. And we follow him, his son, and his grandson. And it ends up with being his grandson who gets killed in the First World War. This is a beautiful book about the decline of the Prussian-Hungarian Empire, the beginning of the First World War, and how people felt during those times. And it's a brilliant novel about ambition and not having ambition and becoming something else that you plan to be. And it's a really inspiring, beautifully written book. It is very light in tone. It is not philosophical at all, not like you have Thomas Mann. This is more a Thomas Mann for the masses. Can I say that? Is that a correct word? I don't know, but the Radedzkymars is absolutely stunning. This came with a lot of beautiful visuals like this. Let me see. I think it's beautifully done. I highly enjoyed it. So that's about it. Beautiful. The drawings are by Jan van Riet. This is a really good book. So that's it. I want to make a video on the 1st of November about the World War November, because I'm really, it's something really close to my heart. So I want to give you some reading ideas, and please join the others for World War November with their read along. I can't remember the book. I will look it up for you next time. And I will put a link down below next time to all their channels. That's it. That's about it. We can say that I had a really good reading week. I'm reading a lot slower than normal. I don't know, but I absorb more, so that's also a good thing. And reading is not a race, of course. I'm also listening to Tom Lake, narrated by Meryl Streep, which is amazing. She delivers it so well. So Tom Lake is a book written by Ann Patchett. This is my first Ann Patchett, and I'm really enjoying it. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience to listen to that book. You saw Vita coming by. Muffin is still asleep. We just changed hours, so this is way more my hour. So it's a winter hour. And even that is not even a correct hour, because we are supposed to be Greenwich Meridian time, and this is +1, and that's all because of the First World War. So we are often more on Berlin time than we are on Berlin time, and not on Belgian time actually. And it feels always a bit weird. I feel way more refreshed when I wake up at this time of day, and then with this time of light, it's more natural. I feel it more. In the summertime, it's plus 2 hours, so when the sun is up its highest, it's 2 o'clock here, and that's not normal. It should be noon. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a really good reading week. Tell me what you're reading. Are you joining us with one of the events? Are you reading, for instance, for non-fiction November? I've decided not to join this time. I want to read around World War One. So yeah, tell me what you're reading, what you are doing, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.